Hi, I'm Tori Mystic, and you're listening to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast, the only show dedicated to supporting women in all areas of the pet industry. Welcome back to another solo episode of the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm your host, Tori Mystic, and on this episode, I am telling you all about all the exciting things that we have coming up in June. We are just at the beginning of the month, but there is a lot coming up on the horizon. We are still in the Q2 email marketing theme. So if you are new here, this year I decided to break 2024 down into quarters and have quarterly themes instead of jumping all over the place with my podcast episodes and my podcast guests and my Wear Wag Repeat Society lessons and my blog posts and my social media. I feel like everything was like, let me tell you all the things all the time. And this year I've decided to have a theme for each quarter, and personally, it's really helped me focus, and I also think that it has made all of my marketing and all of my content for Wear Wag Repeat more effective because I'm not trying to tell you all the things all the time. It has really enabled me to say no to certain things and focus. So our Q1 theme was money. That's right, girl. We were talking about money because we like to make our money, because when we make money, we can do really great things with it in the world. So that was Q1. Q2, which we are still in here, even though it feels like summer, it feels like we're halfway through the year. We're still in Q2, and our theme is email marketing. So I have a lot of exciting stuff in that theme and in that spirit coming up for you this month. But first, I want to do something that I'm trying to commit to also this year, not just these quarterly themes, but I'm also trying to share some more personal updates of what's going on in my life here on the podcast. So I also have a lot of exciting things. If you are friends with me on any social media, you might have seen that I recently went on a trip to Italy. I went to the island of Sardinia for you American speakers, but in Italiano, we say Sardinia. And I actually started learning Italian back in January to prepare for this trip because I have no chill at all. I was like, we're going to Italy for 7 days. Let me spend 5 months learning Italian. But I enjoyed it so much, and it was really fun to be able to communicate with people in Italy that I'm still keeping up with my Italian course. It's an online course. If you want to learn about it, just let me know. I'd be happy to share the link with you. I don't have an affiliate link or anything for it, but it's really fun. And my favorite part is the speaking club, where a few times a week I get to hop on Zoom and speak Italian with other people at my speaking level all around the world. And every week the conversations have a theme. Again, themes really work, people. Being organized actually really works. Who would have thought? But each week we have a theme to our speaking club, and we get to have just really fun conversations and use Italian in a conversational way that's not just like Duolingo practicing vocabulary, but actually talking. So it's been really fun, and I'm still doing that. So we'll see how much longer I keep up with it. Well, I'll have to plan another trip, because otherwise I'm like, what is the purpose of me doing this? But, not everything has to have a purpose. Sometimes you just do things just for fun. So some other fun things I have going on this month and this summer is I have a few trips planned to Cape Cod. I'll be going up there with my boyfriend and Bert and Lucy. I'm so lucky that we get to take the dogs with us, and they get to live their best life swimming in the ponds and the bay and the ocean and sniffing around and just enjoying breakfast outside on the back deck, listening to the birds chirping, and then going back inside before we get bit by a million mosquitoes. But that's something that I'm really looking forward to, especially because I feel like this summer, as it's gotten hotter already so early, that Bert and Lucy are really kind of showing their ages. So I really am excited and feel so lucky that I get to do exciting and great things and enriching things with them and create a lot of memories. I'm thinking about taking my real camera up with us on a couple of these trips so that I could take some really good pictures, because I don't know how many more summers we have together. So just trying to make the most of it this year. Okay, now before I start crying, let's talk about something else. Another new and exciting thing, because I don't know, I don't have enough on my plate, is that I am starting to teach a class at my boxing gym. I have taken almost 300 classes at this gym in the past couple of years, and I've gotten to know everyone there so well. What I love about this gym is really the community. And it translates so well into like everything else that I do and everything that I teach in Wear, Wag, Repeat Society, is that community is so important. And I've belonged to a lot of gyms in my lifetime. I've never belonged to a gym where I had other people's phone numbers and texted and made plans and hung out together outside of the gym and actually became really good friends with some of the people there. So I just love it there, and I love everyone there. So about a month ago, the manager of the gym asked me if I would ever consider teaching a class. And I said, don't ask me that right now. I was just finishing teaching my course at Point Park University. So I was just wrapping up that professorship, or at least the first semester of it. And I was getting ready for our Italy trip, and I was like, don't talk to me. I can't think about this right now. But when I get back from my vacation, I'll think about it. And I decided to give it a shot. So for the past few weeks, I've been in training, just teaching bits and pieces of different classes. And last week, I taught a full class all by myself. And in a couple of weeks, I will officially be on the schedule. So I'm really excited. It's just going to be one day a week, 2 morning classes, a 10 a.m. class and a noon class. So it fits in perfectly with my life and my schedule. And I'm just really excited because as someone who has worked from home for almost 15 years, I really love having an opportunity to go somewhere in person. I think that having to leave the house, having to be somewhere, it gives me kind of like a built-in deadline throughout the week. You know, especially since it's going to be Wednesdays, and a lot of my Wear, Wag, Repeat stuff happens on Wednesdays. So I'll have to make sure that my podcast episode is scheduled and ready to go. I'll have to make sure that if I'm teaching a lesson in Wear, Wag, Repeat Society, that it is prepped and ready to go. That if I'm hosting a mastermind call that day, that I'm ready to go for it in advance and not waiting until the last minute. So I'm really excited about this. And on top of that, boxing and punching things is just really fun. So I can't wait to share more about that as I get into it. All right, so that is, I think, enough of my personal life updates for now. If you have any thoughts on that or any questions, comments, please reach out. You know where to find me on Instagram at Wear, Wag, Repeat, or you can always email me. In fact, I'd rather you email me than reach out on social media because I feel like we could really get into it over email. So, speaking of email, here's what I have going on in June. There's some great stuff going on in Wear, Wag, Repeat Society, great stuff happening on this podcast, and some other exciting launches in the pipeline. So first off, in Wear, Wag, Repeat Society, this month our theme is a cold subscriber scrub. What does that mean? Or a subscriber survey. So both of those two things are email sequences that you can send out to your list that improve the health and engagement of your email list. So if you are a member of Wear, Wag, Repeat Society, you can look forward to that lesson and lots more help if you need any guidance on how to do this. I'll also be giving you the exact templates on how you can send these emails and what to say in the emails so that you can get your list really engaged and really boost the health of your list, improve your deliverability and your open rates and all of that kind of stuff. If you're not a member of Wear, Wag, Repeat Society, membership will be opening at the very end of June and early July. I believe it is Friday, June 28th through Wednesday, July 3rd. So I wanted to wrap that membership open dates up before the 4th of July holiday. So if you are interested in joining, it's been closed for a while. This year, I'm only opening membership at the beginning of each quarter. So membership will be open on Friday, June 28th through Wednesday, July 3rd. So this will be your chance to get in on that. You can join for the quarter or as a month-to-month member. In terms of free content and free resources, this month on the podcast, my guest expert is Sarah Gillis. She has a business called What Sarah Said, where she's a copywriter and she helps people with their emails and their website copy, basically all the words on your website or your emails or any kind of like launch that you're doing. And we had a great conversation about automated email sequences that are not your welcome sequence. So like I mentioned, that cold subscriber scrub and the subscriber survey, those are 2 email sequences that you can send out and automate to your list that are not your welcome sequence. So I love automating anything and everything that I can, but especially in email, because it really helps you stay on track and have a plan and have a strategy without having to sit there at your desk all day, every day, personally sending out these emails. So Sarah talked to me on a couple weeks ago, and the episode comes out next week, about a nurture sequence. So that's a sequence that you can use to kind of get to know your customers better and just nurture them and your relationship to help them feel a closer relationship with you. And we also talked about a launch sequence. So if you are launching any kind of product or service or any new thing in your business, you need a launch sequence. Sarah also has some great tips if you struggle with writer's block or if you feel like you struggle to make your writing sound like you. So Sarah has some really great tips. I don't want to give it all away. You'll have to listen. That episode comes out on Wednesday, June 12th. Also on Wednesday, June 12th, I'm really, really excited, y'all, because the courses from my Course Creator Mastermind are launching that day. I have been working very closely with 2 talented pet pros to help them create their first ever complete online courses. And they're so different from each other. I don't want to give it all away just yet, but this is the second year I hosted this mastermind program. Last year, I had 4 people go through it. Each one of their courses were completely different from each other. This year, I have 2 more that are completely different from those previous ones and completely different from each other. So I get so excited about it because everyone has their zone of genius, and these 2 pet pros really tapped into their specific zone of genius to create really specific online courses to help other pet parents with a real legitimate problem that they have. So each of these courses are real problem solvers. I really can't tell you too much about them yet, but if you're on my email list, you might have seen some sneak peeks because I shared lead magnets from both of these pet pros with my list. And so far, hundreds of people have signed up to get those free lead magnets that are sort of a funnel towards their course. So I'm really excited that I get to help these people launch their courses, create their courses, and I'm going to tell you all about them on June 12th. So stay tuned for that. I also want to remind you that we have a ton of great resources that I've created for you so far this quarter. On the podcast here, back a couple months ago in the first month of this quarter, so what would that have been? April, right? I had an interview with Carrie Fitzgerald. We talked about creating a welcome sequence that sells, and Carrie broke down exactly what to put in each of those emails. So that's an amazingly helpful episode. In May, I released an interview with my friend Deanna Seymour. We talked about creating community through email. Both Dee Dee and I are a little bit maxed out on social media. So we love being able to create community through email. And a big part of that is telling stories. So Deanna, sometimes I call her Dee Dee, she has a really great framework that you can use to write your emails and help make writing your emails easier. So you start off with a little story, then you share a fun GIF. Dee Dee loves fun gifts, and now I do too. And then after that, you transition into how that story ties into your business. So it makes writing your emails really easy. I think that this whole concept of like tell a fun story and then relate it to your business, it's kind of like a muscle that you have to build, this like storytelling muscle. And using this framework and listening to Deanna's advice and also Carrie's advice, and also next week Sarah's advice, everyone's advice is really, really helpful in getting your email marketing on track. So I really want to do everything that I can to help you make your email marketing a success. I want you to feel good about it. I want your list to feel good about it, because social media is just very unreliable. And as we have seen in the past month with Google's updates and their announcement of AI-assisted search, and then maybe like backtracking of that a little bit, now even, I don't know, is SEO a little bit unreliable? I don't know. So email seems to be the thing that we can really rely on, at least for the time being. So it's important that you get on track with this. If you're a Where Wag Repeat Society member, there's some amazing resources in there for you. We have a lesson about how to create a lead magnet that's just irresistible to pet parents or to whoever you're trying to get on your list. And then I also have another lesson about your email welcome sequence that really makes it easy for you to implement this. And of course, I'm always available to all my members to help you with anything that I can. And we have our monthly Hot Seats call that's a 90-minute call where you get my advice and like the whole group think thing going on, and everyone works together to figure out whatever it is that you're working on in your business. So I could go on and on about all of this stuff, but I really want you to take away from this episode to focus on your email, especially your welcome sequence, because the moment that someone joins your list, that is the moment when they are the most excited to get to know you. So you really can't leave them hanging. Like, you really can't. Okay? So if you're like, I know that, Tori, you've been a broken record for the past 2 months. You've been telling me this 1,000 times, but I can't do it. I'm a bad writer, or I hate writing, or I don't know what to write, even though you might have told us 1,000 times what to write. I hear you. I know it's not as easy as it sounds. I'm like, write an email welcome sequence. And then you sit there and you're like, you're just drawing a blank. You don't know what to do. So I hear this. Many people have been asking me if I could help them with their welcome sequence. So I am working on a new done for you service to help you with your welcome sequence for your email list. This is going to be coming later this month, and I'm very excited because I haven't really offered a done for you service in a long time. I think going back to when I used to manage social media for local businesses. So it's been a while, and I'm really excited about it because I know that the membership is not for everyone. And in my coaching calls, I really kind of tell you how to do stuff yourself. I lead you to the water, but then you got to kind of figure it out yourself. So I'm excited that offering something that's totally done for you, that is just like ready to implement, it's going to be, I think, really helpful and useful to a lot of people. So there's so much going on this month. I'm really excited about it. If you're not already subscribed to this podcast, make sure that you hit the plus or the subscribe or the follow, whatever the button is, tap it, okay? And if you haven't yet, please leave a review on whatever podcast app you are currently using. It really, truly does help the show. And if you enjoyed this this episode, or lesson, whatever. If you've enjoyed anything that I have shared with you so far this quarter when it comes to email marketing, please shoot me a note. You can reach me by email all the time. It's just tori@wherewagrepeat.com. I would love to hear from you. I love emailing with people in the Where Wag Repeat community. And if I don't see you somewhere in the Where Wag Repeat world, maybe I'll see you at a boxing class. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you back here next week for that interview with Sarah Gillis.